Hello again, Vinyl Community, Matt here, and today I have sort of a two-part record store haul to show you. First is just a small haul, just a few items. Second one is a little bit of a bigger one from today, but last night I stopped off at a record store that's pretty close to my work, and I traded in a bunch of records, old stuff I didn't want. The guy literally offered me $7, talked him up to 10. So, you know, what are you gonna do? It was either that or the records were gonna go to the thrift store, so at least I got $10 store credit. And, you know, to be fair, they were records that I didn't want, so it's kind of hard to expect other people to want them. Anyway, I got a CD and 3 cassettes, so let's start out with the cassettes. Steely Dan Gaucho, do not have this on any format. And he actually had this priced at like $5, but he let me have it for $3. So I've heard it's supposed to be an excellent sounding album, a little bit like Asia. You know, actually they say that Steely Dan's production values are always top notch, so having never listened to the album, I'm very excited to give that a try, so that was cool. Now we have a couple of 80s throwbacks right here. New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough. You guys know that I like my 80s music. I just couldn't pass this up. I was not a huge fan of them back in the day. I liked one or two of their songs well enough, but you know, but again, I think this was only a couple of bucks. I was like, yeah, for old time's sake, we're gonna get it. And then I think this one was also $2. Milli Vanilli, the remix album, right there. I do have this on vinyl, but my vinyl copy is not in very good condition. It's it was one I got from a thrift store a year or two ago, and I just couldn't leave it there, you know. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get it. So in an upgrade copy of sorts, admittedly on a different format, but and then one CD. This is kind of funny actually. Yeah, they have racks of CDs around, and they had this disc 2 of the White Album. Well, funnily enough, all I previously had was disc 1 of the White Album. I was missing disc 2, so for another $3 I got to complete my Beatles White Album CD set right here. So that was where the $10 went. Now the more exciting haul came today. I went to a place called Groover's Records. It's here in Riverside, California. Unfortunately, they're going to be closing down in the next few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I think. So that's too bad. I'd never been there before. I'd heard of the place, but had never been. And I took my daughter there this afternoon. My wife was having a nap, and I was like, you know, we're going to go out. First, I was just going to go thrifting, but I was like, well, okay, where am I going to go to? You know, because my good friend Gregory Short messaged me from within Savers last night. So I thought, okay, so Savers has already been picked clean by Greg. No, just kidding. But you know, but I don't usually find much in there now, so I was thinking, okay, maybe we could go to Mad Platter, but I went there pretty recently, Mad Platter record store. Like, you know, let's see what else we have around. And then I saw Groover's, and I thought, okay, I've heard of Groover's, never been. Let's go check it out. And yeah, a little bit sad that the place is closing down, but I was kind of stunned at how cheap the prices are. And they're not cheap because they're closing down, although the guy that was working there was giving out discounts, but you know, the sticker prices were cheap on the records. I was really amazed. You know, it's a record store selling records at thrift store prices, pretty much. And so for that reason, it might be surprising that they wouldn't be more popular and would be closing, but it's in a really crappy location. It really is. Like, the location it's at is just dead. It's like a sort of well, it's a strip mall of sorts, but it's yeah, a bit like a ghost town over there, kind of abandoned. But I did get 4 cassettes, and I got 8 records, and I think altogether I spent $18 or $19, something like. Because like I say, the guy was giving out a discount of like 10%, and I couldn't quite do the math. I'm sure he gave me more than a 10% discount the first time. Yeah, I kind of I got my stuff and I went to pay for it, and I'd already done the math that it should have been costing me like 17 bucks or something, or 18, and when he rang it up, it only came to 14 something. He gave me a 10% discount, but I'm pretty sure he either didn't charge me for a record or something happened. I don't know, but he's like, yeah, it was like $14 and some odd change. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go around again and have another quick look, and I'm glad I did, because I did find a couple more records to get when I did that. So let me show you what I got. We'll start out with the tapes right here. And these were dirt cheap. They had these boxes of tapes, and they also have some cassettes on the back wall that were supposed to be $1 each. Those were half price. And then they had other boxes of tapes that range from, I think it was anywhere from around 10 cents to 80 cents. And these were all in between that. I think this first one I'm going to show you was 25 cents a quarter. And that is, it's James Bond theme tunes, right there. This was released in the early 80s, in 83, so I think it goes up to, and it includes, yeah, All Time High by Rita Coolidge, which is the theme song from Octopussy. So, you know, for a quarter. I do have a James Bond theme CD, but, you know, 25 cents, come on. Next up, I got this one. Actually, was a little bit disappointing. War of the Worlds. Well, I was excited when I found it, because this is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. But it's only the one tape. It should be two, which is what I thought when I picked it. I thought this meant to be two tapes, but you see, when you buy the tapes, they're sealed. They put tape over here, and they color the tape so they know how much to charge for it. So I couldn't look at it, and what's a little bit strange is that the entire, I don't know if you can see this, not very easily, sorry, but the, yeah, I'm sorry, it doesn't come out, but the entire track listing for tapes 1 and 2 is listed here, but it's not split up by tape, it's just one track after the other. So I thought, huh, this must be like some extra long tape, and they just crammed it onto one album or something, because nowhere on here does it say tape 1 or tape 1 of 2. It just, and on the tape itself, it just says side 1 and side 2. Now, if you look at the track listing of this cassette, it soon becomes apparent that there is supposed to be another tape. But you wouldn't know that unless you opened it up. But you know what? It was only 50 cents, so it's okay, you know. I do already have this on vinyl, CD, and 8-track, so I can't complain too much for 50 cents. Next up, I got a couple of U2 tapes. The Unforgettable Fire, right here. This came out in 84, I think. 84. I'm not a massive U2 fan. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not. I like some of their songs well enough. I think they're extremely overrated. I just do. I know, but that's just my preference. But I do like some of their stuff. So, and again, these were 50 cents each, and I was like, yeah, if I saw a U2 tape in a thrift store for 50 cents, I'd almost certainly buy it. So. Let's see, and I don't know that many tracks in here. I do know the title track, The Unforgettable Fire. It has Pride in the Name of Love, and it has Bad on here as well. So okay, well that's 3 songs. Oh, or maybe Indian Summer, Indian Summer Sky. That name vaguely rings a bell. But and I also got another U2 album, Rattle and Hum, right there. This is a later release. This came out in 87, 88. It includes a very good cover version of Helter Skelter by the Beatles. It includes Desire, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Also includes Pride in the Name of Love, which is interesting. Anyway, Angel of Harlem, When Love Comes to Town, All I Want Is You. So, yeah, the only thing with this is that the tape's really faded. You can barely see the writing on it. But that's okay. All right. Now let's get on to the records. Right here. So, start off with a couple of 12-inch singles. Nothing too special, but hey. Kenny Loggins, Playing with the Boys from the movie Top Gun. I saw that there. This is 25 cents. They had an entire room of records that were a quarter each. 25 cents. I mean, you know, it mostly wasn't great stuff. There, you know, a lot of Barbra Streisand, Barry Manilow, but they had the odd interesting thing, you know, if you started digging through it. And you know, you think, well, what would I pay if I saw this in a Goodwill? They'd want $2 or $3 for it, right? For 25 cents, sure. Next up, we have 12-inch single, Taylor Dane, Tell It to My Heart. I do have the 7-inch single of this already, but I did not have on 12-inch. This was only $1. And again, when I say these prices, you've really got to take off 10%, and maybe a little bit more, because, like I say, the math got kind of fuzzy towards the end there. But yeah, classic 80s track, was a big hit in the UK in 1988. This actually has a 1987 copyright on it, but I know it from being a hit in the UK in the summer of '88. And yeah, for $1, why not? Next up, we have another 80s, bit of an 80s classic. Well, the band is an 80s classic, the album not quite so much, but Aha, Scoundrel Days. I do have their is it Hunting High and Low album with Take On Me on it. Did not have this. It was only $3, promo copy. They had they had another one that was in slightly better condition that was like $5 or $6, but the difference in condition did not justify like doubling the price on it. So and the record's actually in fine condition, nothing wrong with it at all. So yeah, $3. I know a few of the songs on here: Cry Wolf, I've Been Losing You, and Manhattan Skyline, which is actually one of my favorite Aha tracks. So yeah, very pleased to find that. Next up, we have one to make Gregory Short very jealous. He's been looking for this for quite some time, and I found it there. This is when I went back. I checked out the first time. It was a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be, and so I went back and I got the Taylor Dane, and I got this First Offense by Corey Hart, and this includes the song Sunglasses at Night, which might be his most famous song actually. Very well-known song from the 80s. I don't know if I know any of the other tracks on here, I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you, but for $3, sure, and it's in really nice condition too. Next up, we have this. Now, this is an album that I had been keeping an eye on eBay. I'd looked for it for a few times. I had a look for this. I love the artwork, but I just never found it at a particularly great price. And that is The Roaring Silence by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. I just think that's such an awesome cover. I mean, look, check it out, you know. And of course, this does have Blinded by the Light on it. I don't know if I know any of the other songs. I'm really not sure if I do. Maybe when I play it, I might recognize one or two others, but yeah, this was $4. And I was just thinking, where else are you going to find this for $4? I wasn't going to get it. I was like, where else are you going to find it for $4? Not on eBay, that's for sure. Not at a record store. So yeah. And now we come to the the last three records that were definitely the highlight for me. Now, you guys, anyone who saw my previous video, you saw that I went to a record store, Mad Platter actually in Riverside. One of the records I got was Jean Michel Jarre, Magnetic Fields. I was very excited to find that for $2. A little bit of edge wear, but apart from that, it was actually in pretty fine condition. And lo and behold, at the record store that I went to today at Groover's, they had an entire Jean Michel Jarre section that not only was well stocked, but was extremely cheap. So I picked up 3 albums. These were $3 a piece, and they're in beautiful condition. So, Oxygen. I do have Oxygen. Is it part 4 that was released as a single? I think. I do have the 7-inch of that, but for $3, I'm not passing that up. And these are all on the Polydor label, just in absolutely fantastic condition. I know that Greg Short was gonna head over to the store. In fact, he got there because he sent me a picture from within the store. He sent me a picture because I'd asked him to see if they had any more Rattle and Hums, to get a tape, if he could buy it for me and I'd pay him back, to get a tape that wasn't missing some of the you know, the lettering, but anyway, they didn't. They had a few U2 albums. I couldn't remember if they had multiple copies of that one, but yeah, I know that Greg did buy a Jean Michel Jarre album there, maybe more than one. So watch out for his video. I'm assuming he'll probably make one over the coming days, and he'll show you guys what he got from there. But yeah, so Oxygen, $3. Come on, you know, you're gonna pass it up. And Jean Michel Jarre, Equinox. This is the only one I can't remember how this song goes, and I know I'm gonna know it as soon as I hear it. And again, just beautiful artwork. Look at that. Yeah, I just could not remember how it went. So I'm gonna have to look it up. But yeah, again, this is on Polydor. Beautiful condition. Actually, this is on the Dreyfus imprint, but it's an imprint of Polydor Records. Right there. Yeah. Very nice indeed. These are all US pressings, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. And one more. And of course, you already know it's Jean Michel Jarre, but Rendezvous. I know part 4, Fourth Rendezvous. I do know how that song goes. And again, really cool. Well, this is a little later, I think. This is from the 80s. Trying to see the copyright on this. Yeah, this is from 86. I didn't realize it was as late as that, actually. I thought it was a few years earlier than that. But and again, it's on the same Dreyfus imprint of Polydor right there. Again, just really, the records were just in beautiful condition. And the fact that they have multiple copies of it. So yeah, I'm really hoping Greg picked up, well, I know he picked up at least one Jean Michel Jarre album, because he told me he did, but I don't know what he got or how many he got, so you guys are gonna have to watch out for that video. So yeah, I was very pleased with that, and my wife already said, "You're gonna go back there, aren't you?" And I said no, but then the wheels start turning, so I don't know. They had I could have spent a lot more money, and like I said, I ended up, it's like $18 or $19 for all that, and just very unusual in my experience to find prices that low at a record store, and particularly a record store in California, because we get ripped off for everything. I mean, I've never really gone on a true rant on my YouTube channel about thrift store prices. I have done on Facebook, but yeah, Goodwill in particular, who have really jacked up the price of vinyl. I think I mentioned it, but I've never gone on a real rant. So it was very nice and refreshing. And you know what? I even spoke to the guy who was working there. I said, you know, how come your prices are so cheap? Is it just because you're closing? He said no. He said something to the effect of, you know, we don't believe in gouging people, and they price things. They priced things in a way that they thought was fair, which I think is, you know, like I said, it was very refreshing in this day and age where vinyl's made such a comeback, and we find that the prices have really just kind of skyrocketed. So yeah, really pleased to find all these, and now I just gotta clean them and listen to them. It's gonna take a while. I got a lot of stuff to get through. But yeah, thank you guys as always for watching, and until next time, bye bye.